Today about the Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, also called Smart Growth. In 1992, Rio was where the Earth Summit was held. That's a UN gathering at the, I don't know how often they have it, every few years or whatever. And actually, they're in this year they're going to do it again in Rio because of an anniversary, I think, or 2012. Next one I think is going to be Rio again. They're having an anniversary, and to celebrate all the wonderful things that they've bequeathed to us. If you notice the little Agenda 21, that's actually the book. There is actually, I guess, a physical book. You could print it out if you wanted to print out 40 chapters of reading. It's pretty long.
You can actually go online and read much of the document as you want online, which I would recommend versus printing it.
There they talk about sustainable development. I put on here urban planning because actually there's another side to this, and I'm not really sure. It's actually not, I did a little research on it last night. It's actually not mentioned in here by name, and that would be the Wildlands Project. And actually, the Wildlands Project is also kind of birthed out of here. It came out in '92 also. So that's something that I'm going to touch on a little bit while we're talking, but that's kind of a whole different area. I'm mainly dealing with right now the stuff we're dealing with in our urban areas because most of us are more urban dwellers rather than country. But those other things are very important because they're doing as fast as they can. They're doing things like using the Endangered Species Act so that they can endanger more things so that we can not use our land. Sustainable development was crafted in UN Agenda 21, and why we have it in America is because of the President's Council on Sustainable Development, and he did an executive order in 1993 which made their council right now. Obama in 2011, this is mid-July, he created a rural council.
If you can't click the link, go to thenewamerican.com and search for Obama Rural Council.
Again, we have another council, and when I hear the word council anymore, I'm a little bit afraid after what we got with this. You know, you can look up a lot of these terms that I've got in here. If you want to do your own research, just do some Googling, and you'll be able to see a little bit about what there is about that. Besides Bill Clinton, we have George Bush Sr. to thank also. When there was a pledge signed by 178 other nations signing on to Agenda 21 at the same time, Bush also did that. Now, this quote here is just mind-boggling.
It is the sacred principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter, to which the American people will henceforth pledge their allegiance. President George Bush, 1992, while addressing the UN Assembly.
I never read that quote before that I put this together. That's pretty interesting. I do know he was a one world, new world order, all that global governance. I got really cracked up when I think it was Gary Hart or somebody referred to Bush as having, well, I think he used that term maybe once, but he never used it again. And I thought, you slimeball, he used it all the time. And it's on record.
The phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. When we are successful, and we will be.
World order.
Can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. A new world order can emerge. Now we can see a new world coming into view. world in which there is a very real prospect of a new world order.
The Council on Foreign Relations, known as the CFR, an organization publicly sworn to destroy American national sovereignty and usher in a tyrannical world police state, could not contain their glee on September 12th, the day after the tragic attack. They announced their New World Order.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
Okay, this is just a little quote that they pulled out on the next page.
Let me share with you a little bit of what's in this press release for sustainable development. It is declaring the President's Council on Sustainable Development on the anniversary of the Earth Summit. Quote, every nation faces a challenge to identify and implement policies that meet the needs of the present without compromising the future. This is almost an exact quote UN Agenda 21 document itself. Also in this press release, Vice President Gore was quoted as saying, this council will help us forge a new partnership among representatives of industry, labor, government, environmental organizations, and civil rights organizations. In the press release, we also see the Council's primary goals. Let me summarize them here for you. Develop specific policy recommendations that can be implemented by public and private sectors. Here we have the beginnings of the public-private partnerships, also known as PPPs. To respond to the recommendations in Agenda 21 and to contribute to the U.S. plan to be submitted to the United Nations Commission on Sustainable Development, to help ensure implementation of Agenda 21. There's the link, Agenda 21 implementation through the U.S. Establish links with other non-governmental organizations within and outside of the United States. Non-governmental organizations are NGOs. I recommend you do a study on those. Also says that we want to educate the public about the far-reaching opportunities in sustainable development. There you have it.
A lot of people, if you go to your cities, they say, we're implementing Agenda 21, they're like, either if they hear what it is or you tell them what it is, they'll say, well, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. But here's a quote from President Clinton saying that's exactly what we're doing.